Hello, my fellow exiles. Listen, for the clock is ticking and the gears of the universe do not grind for the lazy. We find ourselves in a peculiar predicament, trapped in bodies that are essentially wet machines, wandering through a reality that is, quite frankly, a bit of a decorative hallucination. To live is an act of supreme ego, yet to thrive is an act of supreme shedding. We are told to be nobly born, yet we behave like greedy children in a candy shop that is currently on fire. This is a blueprint for the soul that refuses to be caged, a manual for the person who realizes that being satisfied in the self is the only profit worth recording. My friends, my foes, and those of you still deciding, we are all visitors to this time, this place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home. That's an Aboriginal proverb. It is a short trip, really, shorter than a blink, longer than a sneeze, and twice as messy as a picnic in a gale. You must realize that, so you should view this fleeting world, a star at dawn, a bubble in a stream, a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, a phantom, and a dream. That's from the Diamond Sutra, chapter 32. If the world is a bubble, why do you try so hard to pin your name to it with such heavy rusted nails? You scream for more things, more buttons, more shiny clattering trinkets. But the Crow tribe says, the more you give, the more good things come to you. It is a mathematical certainty, though it sounds like nonsense to the man with the locked safe. You see, contentment comes from knowing when you have enough. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. That's from the Tao Te Ching, chapter 44. A man who knows he has enough cannot be bribed, cannot be bullied, and cannot be bored. He is a giant among toddlers. But the road to this richness is not a paved highway for the soft-footed. Go in through the narrow gate, because broad is the gate and spacious is the road leading off into destruction. Whereas narrow is the gate and cramped the road leading off into life. That's from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. The narrow gate requires you to suck in your gut and leave your luggage behind. You cannot fit your vanity through a keyhole. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. That's from the Essential Rumi, page 154. You have built walls of brick and spite, thinking they protect you. They only entomb you. Break them. Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. That's from the Gleanings from the Writings of Baha'u'llah. If you find the walls too thick, seek help through patience and prayer, and indeed, it is difficult except for the humbly submissive to Allah. That's from the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 45. And while you are at it, O you who have believed, remember Allah with much remembrance. The Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, 33:41. It keeps the mind from wandering into the tall weeds of self-pity. To find joy, one must hold the firmness. If the wind blows, you are the tree with deep roots. If the water rises, you are the stone at the bottom. Do not float, sink into your own weight. That's from the Brazilian Teachings of the Forest. Do not be a cork bobbing aimlessly. Be a heavy thing of substance. For Adam fell that men might be, and men are that they might have joy. That's from 2 Nephi, chapter 2, verse 25. Not a cheap, giggling joy, but the joy of existing as a conscious, capable entity. When the world tries to scare you with its drums and its dramas, remember, when a thought of war comes, oppose it by a stronger thought of peace. A thought of hatred must be destroyed by a more powerful thought of love. That's from the Paris Talks, page 2. It is a duel of the mind, and do not be anxious over anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication along with thanksgiving, let your petitions be made known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your mental powers. That's Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. And behold, I tell you these things that ye may learn wisdom, that ye may learn that when ye are in the service of your fellow beings, ye are only in the service of your God. That's from Mosiah chapter 2, verse 17. It is the ultimate trade. You give of yourself and you find the infinite. When he completely casts off all desire of the mind and is satisfied in the self by the self, then is he said to be one of steady wisdom. That's from the Gita, chapter 2, verse 55. You may cry, you will. It is a soggy business being human, but those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. He who goes out weeping, carrying seed to sow, will return with songs of joy, carrying sheaves with him. Psalm 126, verses 5 and 6. You may be surprised to know that I am never lonely. Solitude is my companion. It is not a state of being alone, but a state of being with the bliss of the spirit. The soul cannot be caged. The more you try to bind it, the more it will expand into the joy of the infinite. That's from Autobiography of a Yogi, chapter 14. So, O nobly born, let not thy mind be distracted. That which is called suffering is but a cloud. Look past the cloud to the clear light, which is thy true nature. In that light there is no separation, only the joy of being. That's from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Part 1. Go now, walk the narrow road, sink like a stone, shine like a lightning flash, and for heaven's sake, stop trying to count the bubbles. I love you.